Welcome to the No Ideas Original Sports Podcast featuring Shannon, Mr. Rob, Zane, and Ken. We're joined today by the CEO of A7FL, Sener. Sener, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you guys for having me.
Nice to have you. So let's get right into it. Talk a little bit about what A7FL is and how you end up creating A7FL.
Yeah, so A7FL stands for American Sevens Football League, which that is 7-on-7 full contact tackle football. A unique new sport, exciting, and at the same time a little safer too when it comes to repetitive head-to-head shots that that you typically see with NFL helmet football. You don't see in the A7FL, and that's a big part of the press and the attention that we've received when it comes to CTE and head injuries. The A7FL went in the opposite direction, something totally different, and what we're finding out is that it's actually a safer way to play football at the same time.
So what led you guys? I see you participated in a self-study with New Jersey Institute of Technology. What was the reasoning for that participation?
Yeah, so when I started the business with my partner Ryan DePaul, a big point for us was to show the safety and demonstrate the safety of this sport. And one way I figured to do that was through my alma mater, where I went to university, New Jersey Institute of Technology. So when I reached out to them, they were interested, and we quickly connected with their medical and engineering department, and we're able to put that study together over 2 seasons, which started to show that there's elevated safety in our sport. Similar to the quarterback in traditional football, the most protected player.
Right.
All of our athletes get that elevated safety that typically the quarterback would get. So it is really a big deal, and it's still full contact, exciting football.
Right. And what I noticed watching it, there's really no pylon. No one's piling on each other with, how ankle injuries and legs get caught up in the muscle of all that.
Good point. Yeah. And, the players are aware of their own safety. It's an instinct is a big part of it. Right. That's a scientific theory behind that. It's called risk homeostasis. So when you go into a collision, you're going to use the most protected part of your body. And when you have a helmet on your head, that's why it's instinct to lead with your head. With our athletes, the instinct is to pull their head back, keep their head out of the tackle.
All right, little cerebral football. I like this. This is up. Yes, Zane.
Tell us how you were able to link up with the co-founder of the UFC, and what made him become a chair member for the A7FL.
Yeah, thank you. So as we were building the A7FL, we got to a stage where we've done a tremendous amount on our own, my partner Ryan and I. So as the founders, we realized, hey, we need to build our team and continue to grow. So I reached out to a good friend of mine, and I'm looking for advice and which direction to go. And his simple advice was go after the sports people. And then so within a few conversations and networking between people, one call led to another. Within 3 calls, within 3 connections, 3 steps, I was connected with David Isaacs, and instantly he saw the value and in what we were doing, similar to how the UFC started as a safer way to do boxing. He saw that in the A7FL, and we hit it off right away.
Okay.
Excellent.
As your league continues to grow, just looking at it, logistically, you have teams across the whole country. How do you guys go about managing, having teams across the country?
Yeah, great question. So that's part of our growing pains and growing experience. We've done very well in the Northeast where we started the league. We've most recently expanded into San Diego, which is huge for us. So understanding how the new divisions grow to eventually fold into a national championship is our ultimate goal. I don't want to guarantee anything or let the cat out of the bag, but that's our goal for 2021. and hopefully we'll see a national East versus West national championship first time in the A7FL.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how is the league financed, and do players get compensated for participating?
Another good question. So like many semi-pro leagues across the country, the athletes are actually paying to play. So there's a big tradition of this, is because athletes are staying competitive on the football market for other opportunities to play in other leagues. At the same time, they're staying active and they're continuing to play the game that they love.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we continue to grow, we're moving towards instituting prize money. We want to eventually have our players paid in the long run. That's the big picture. It's going to take some time to get there, but we really believe our athletes are just as good, many of them, and capable to play at the highest level. So as we grow, they'll get that opportunity. Right now, we're turning them into stars the best that we can. We're putting that exposure out there. They're getting on the highlight videos, and and it's a pretty amazing experience right now.
Yeah, two questions. I like your commentators. They remind me. I don't know if you're familiar with Rucker Park, 150.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have the sauce. That's LJ Smith.
Sauce. That guy who's the guy commentating the play-by-play? He's your Marv Albert, because I love him.
We have a few different guys rotating, but the center of our announcing is a guy named LJ Smith. He's been with us for many years. He is the flavor of and the voice of the A7FL. We have some great partners that he's worked with over the years, and it's a great new way to experience football. It's not your typical announcing, your cardboard cookie cutter type of announcer. Something very different.
Very different, man. There's a play on there, silky smooth.
Right.
I love it here. From a network standpoint, are there any other networks giving you guys offers? Because your business model, I can see it winning in other markets as well.
Well, that's the idea. So we're right now partnered with 11 Sports Network and For the Fans. So that puts us on TV, on direct TV across the country.
Internationally too, right?
Yes, national TV across the country. Okay. And then we have digital partnerships as well, Twitch, Facebook, and our own platform. So, over the years, we've had 100 million views on our content. We've gone viral multiple times. Now that we have a television partnership, we're expanding our reach. Okay. As we add new divisions, we'll start to showcase their talent and their games. So you'll start to see fans forming behind their local teams in Las Vegas, in Houston, in LA, in
team in the Bronx. Is there a team in the Bronx too?
Not yet. Yeah. We need to be there.
Okay.
Yeah. Brooklyn and Bronx, definitely.
Also, can you let us know about the investment opportunities that A7FL has for people that's interested?
Yeah, sure. So right now is a first of a kind opportunity to actually invest in the A7FL. Because of the new laws, there's an opportunity for anybody to invest. You don't have to become an accredited investor and have a multi-million-dollar portfolio. Actually, anybody can be involved in investing in small startups like the A7FL. So you can actually head on over to a7fl.com/invest and learn more about investing in the league, owning a piece of the league, actually owning shares in the league, and being a part of our growth.
Nice.
So, when you talk about investing, like as far as investing in the league, how do you go about actually? Let's say if you wanted to get a team, how would you go about doing that?
And that's really important for us too. So it's finding team owners, what we call divisional owners, as we expand across the country. We have a lot of interest. The first interest came from players, thousands of players across the country. The next wave of interest is from ownership, people who see themselves as a team owner, as a divisional owner, as an event operator, people who have experience in that background, some people who would be new to it. But everyone has the same thing in common. They love football. They love what we're doing in the A7FL. So we're working with our legal team right now on the paperwork and the agreements necessary to truly expand in a big way, and have all the I's dotted and T's crossed. So as we complete that paperwork, we'll be announcing that to all of our interested owners, and we'll be following up with everybody.
Yes. How has COVID impacted the most recent season?
Okay.
Yeah, this was a huge milestone for us, playing through COVID. It was a big challenge for us. We all committed to this, and we were all with the same goal. Everyone from players to captains to the league staff to our production partners to our sponsor, Salus, who did and provided the testing process and the testing software. Everybody wanted to play. And so with that mindset, we all came together as a team and we made it happen. It was an amazing 4 or 5 weeks, actually. The championship was probably the best showcase of A7FL football that we've seen so far. And just another huge testament to our team and what we're able to pull off.
Yeah, the U won the championship, right?
Yeah, Patterson.
What's it on? Yeah, on YouTube. It was a great game too.
Great.
Right. You know, managing injuries. How are you guys manage injuries? Although your motto is not to have as many injuries, but I'm sure injuries do occur. Do you have staff on the side in case someone twists an ankle or anything such as that?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so we have a paramedic or a EMT on staff. So not only are we dealing with COVID this last season, but we have to obviously deal with the typical sprains and type of injuries in any full contact type of sport. Yeah, correct. You're not going to see the head-to-head like you see on every play in NFL football. It practically almost never happens in the A7FL, but there is a chance of freak accidents always, like in any full contact sport, even non-contact sports. Those type of injuries can occur.
You guys stiff arm though, don't you?
Yeah, you could get stiff armed. You can get driven into the ground. I mean, you can get hit hard. There are big hits, and our athletes are real athletes, and they're big guys. They're fast guys. They're athletic. They're agile.
Solid guys, man.
And you know, it's you know, when these guys get hit, you see their face, so you know it's hurt. But I'll tell you,
Can you tell us, our listeners out there, what's the?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can you tell our listeners out there what's the difference between rugby and A7FL?
So I'm not an expert on rugby, but yeah, 2 different sports. A7FL is traditional American football with a twist. So 7-on-7, no kicking. We have a 3-on-1 special teams. It's the most exciting play in sports, we believe. So football with variations for safety to move the game faster, and to be a more expandable and international sport. Rugby is a great game, similar in terms of tackling, no pads, no helmets. But that's pretty much the extent of the similarities. You know, the gameplay they're 2 totally different games.
Correct.
You brought up the 3-on-1 throw. That was something I was interested in because I realized that, you know, there was no kicking involved. Could you tell us how that came about and how it actually originated? Because it is really interesting to see and it's different than football, and it is an exciting thing.
Yeah, it is, man.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Actually, that play, that new rule came about during the A7FL's evolution. So there's even the chance for new rules and new plays to be created as we grow and as we evolve. But my partner Ryan DePaul invented the 3-on-1 as a safer way to do special teams. So you can see the A7FL's layer upon layer of safety in terms of the twists that we've done with the rules. So crackback blocks are one of the most dangerous parts of football, and special teams one of the most dangerous aspects of football traditionally. So when you change it to a 3-on-1, 3 on the throwing team, 1 on the receiving, it makes for an exciting play, and you eliminate crackback blocks, and it's just a lot safer all around.
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes in sports, you hear the terminology, you hear people mention the face of the league. One of the things that I think the NFL has is, and the NFL is huge. It's a multi-billion-dollar business, so they don't necessarily need to have a face, but they do have star players. But then you think about a league like baseball, Major League Baseball. One of the issues that Major League Baseball has, and I've heard them talk about it, is that most of the time the players spend their time in the dugout. When they're batting up, they have a helmet on. When they're in the field, they have a baseball cap on. So as much as we talk about the superstars in baseball, it's a lot harder to develop people as individuals. Does the league have a player right now that's the face of the league? And if not, what are you doing to develop a player to make them the face of the league? Or is it important to have the face of the league?
That's an awesome question. And our guys, you actually can see their faces, like we said, no helmet. It really connects you, and it connects the fan with our players. When you see them out there, you imagine, hey, not only did I used to play football like that, but it's very easy to see yourself actually out there playing and see that player in yourself. So we are working to make our athletes more noticeable and more well known. So that comes with the exposure and the social media exposure and the TV exposure. Some of the faces of our league, and we do have some well-known names. And if you're an A7FL fan, you mentioned Silky Smooth, Kareem Moon. Mm-hmm. So he's one of the superstars. He's in our probably be in our Hall of Fame one year.
We got some names on him, man.
Yeah, he's well known.
Hitting him with the blip blap.
Oh yeah, he has catchphrases named after him. So yeah, he's a star. So Patterson U, Kareem Moon, they have other stars on their team. The New Jersey BIC, you have Courage Mosey, which is a shorter guy. He nobody can take him down. He has a awesome, unique character himself. There's teams in Baltimore. The Human Joystick.
That's all Rucker. That's all Rucker right there, man.
There are. Everybody has their own story. If you're good enough, you'll also earn yourself a nickname, and and that's how you start to get that exposure. That's right. These are the faces of the A7FL. We'll find these faces across the country as we expand, Las Vegas, LA, and you're going to have all of these superstars. They deserve a spotlight. They're super athletes. Because they didn't make it to the major league, that doesn't mean that their career has to end. And we're providing that opportunity now in a big way, not in a Me Too way, the way absolutely. That the other leagues are doing, where it's a second-rate version of the NFL. Right. We have something new and unique. Right. And, so we feel comfortable as we continue to grow. These stars are going to emerge.
Excellent.
What are the age requirements? And also, I'm losing the thought. Do you have any former high school stars, former college stars that play in your league?
Yeah, so 18 and older to play, so you have to be an adult. And so some of our athletes have gone on to a higher level. One name that comes to mind is Darryl Verges. He's a guy who played in the league, killed it. He was a superstar He went on to have multiple tryouts with NFL teams, and at one point was signed with the Giants for a short time. So the talent is there, the quality in the athlete is there.
Correct.
The minority of guys who want to play at a higher level, we want to help them with that opportunity. Now, from the other end and the other spectrum, former NFL guys, they've supported our league publicly on social media and things like this. None of them have come to play in the league yet. That could be something in the future, and we'd love to see, some of those names like a Manziel or a Tebow, or not that they're going to play now, but the next Tebow or Manziel, could have a possibility to play in the A7FL.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell us about the sign up situation. Like, are there a number of people that came to sign up that just didn't make the cut, or can just about anybody play or try out and get accepted? What's the rules and regulations behind that?
So anybody can try out. We have teams in New Jersey and Baltimore and San Diego right now. So if you have a team in your area, you can go and try out when that time comes. You can reach out to the teams beforehand and see which one you might be a better fit with. So all of those opportunities exist. We'll be making those announcements to our entire player list when that time comes. So some guys, if the team has a lot of interest, I'm sure some guys aren't going to make it on the team, but most of the teams are have at least a few roster spots open. I'm sure 30-man max roster at this point.
30 or was 35?
30. 35. Okay, I think you're right. Actually, I have to double check the rule book. This past season, it was minimized. It was only 20 because of COVID. So, things like the rosters and some of those rules could change and could go back and forth a little bit. But anybody can play.
Right.
With like the different style of play and the different showcase things you have, different teams, different names, and things like the white football. Have you looked into any different unique marketing opportunities you guys might have? Because it's definitely it's a new and up and coming thing. The football itself, and I was looking like, wow, that was pretty unique that they chose to go with that. So is there any?
It's a white football.
Yeah.
It's not a rugby ball. It's a white football. It's the same size as your traditional football. But that white really stands out. It does. Yeah.
So without the pads and the helmets, I know what you're saying scientifically, it makes perfect sense, because if I don't have on a helmet, I'm going to be more inclined not to lead with my head. Have you encountered any situations where people have played football for years and they just can't get out of their own way of attempting to lead with their head on tackles, where you had to maybe exclude a player from the league or suspend a player for something like that?
Well, we do have very specific rules about tackling, and if you're breaking those rules, you could be suspended, you could be kicked out of the league. That's an absolute fact. That would probably be a question for one of our coaches, but I would say in general, it might take a little bit of getting used to play in the A7FL. But the fact is that instinct of keeping your head out of the tackle, that is a natural instinct. And it doesn't, you could take off the helmet and you'll start to get used to that very quickly. Bottom line is you don't want to have your head
cracked.
Yeah, bottom line. Yep.
I'm good, man. I like what I'm hearing. This is good stuff. I'm ready to invest. How about
well, you had it over a7fl.com/invest.
That's right.
And you can learn all about it there.
Yeah, Zane.
I remember seeing the brackets that you had as far as for the investment opportunities. I believe the minimum was like 375 and up,
Correct.
right? And then based
Yeah.
upon, I guess once you get into the thousands, you get like extra perks behind it.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you talk about that briefly?
Yeah, I'm so off the top of my head, the minimum investment is $375, and as you go up, there are different perks. You can read about that on the campaign. I think the next level is $750.
Yeah, season tickets and stuff like that.
Exactly. So I mean, that's a bonus. The opportunity is owning equity and shares in the A7FL. The platform that we're on, called Start Engine, is something very cutting edge. It allows anybody to invest, and they're actually developing their own market to trade these shares, also starting in October. So they'll be one of the first companies doing that. So we're really happy with our partnership with Start Engine and having the opportunity to bring in investors, over 350 investors, I think, at this time. I'm sure there's more than that, and we broke now close to 250,000 on that campaign.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a big deal for us because we need the capital to invest. To expand. So that's what we're using it for. We just put on this past season to showcase our talent, and now moving into 2021, we want to build on that and expand with bigger partnerships.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So with all the different things that you mentioned, the partnerships, the different television opportunities, all the safety advancements and different things that you guys are moving forward with, where do you see like the AFL going maybe in the next 5 years, if you had to say? What would you like to see it look like in the next 5 years?
So a national championship, regional competitions, forming into regional championships, regional champions forming, and then all falling into a national bracket to turn out a national champion. So that's a rough idea of what we want to do, meaning we're going to continue to build on our partnerships in terms of our television and digital distribution, our sponsorships,
right,
our production quality and number of games that we're producing, and we're going to keep delivering A7FL to our fans. As we expand across the country, showing them those stories of the local hometown heroes who are still out there playing football and aspiring to be a national champion.
Yes. Well, Sener, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it. Look, the A7FL, if you haven't had an opportunity to tune in and watch it, you're missing a quality game. High pace, action. I think Rob hit the nail on the head. Like it really has to me like a Rucker Park feel to football. I really enjoyed it. I sat there and I was at work when I watched it, but I watched it and I was like, man, this is a really good game. You have an excellent product.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's an and one Rucker Park, March Madness. There's a lot of
it, man.
Exciting elements. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I like the ability to, for people to invest in the league. So give out your social media so people can follow and keep track of what's going on with the A7FL.
Yeah, follow A7FL. We are on Facebook at A7FL and at A7FL TV, YouTube at the A7FL, and Twitter at the A7FL, and Twitch at A7FL. You can catch us on all of those platforms and at a7fl.com, and you can learn about investing on our website also.
Nice.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.